French winemakers have spent generations nurturing the grapevine and observing the subtle distinctions between wines produced from diverse plots of land, earning France's position as the global leader in good wine. As a result, France continues to be one of the world's top producers of wine, with hundreds of distinct appellations around the nation producing wines in every style and quality range. Are you excited to know the entire story? Here we begin with the video. One of the most crucial processes for growers of grapevines is grape harvesting. Therefore, producers celebrate the day of harvest with festas in many nations since it is such a wonderful occasion. Grape harvesting typically begins 30 to 70 days following the fruit set, when the color of the berries changes from green to yellow for white kinds or red-purple for red varieties. Typically, the fruit's sugar content rises during this time while their acid content falls. As a result, most kids generally develop in the northern hemisphere between August and November, whereas they do so between March and August in the southern hemisphere. The ideal time to harvest grapes, nevertheless, is difficult to determine. The quality of the finished product is greatly influenced by the environment, the soil, the position of the variety, and the growing methods. Therefore, producers harvest various varieties at various maturation stages to attain the appropriate qualities. Producers must specify particular qualities. For white wine-producing grapes, they should use the sugar, acids proportion, and the flavorings. For red wine-producing grapes, they should involve the sugar acids proportion, the phenolics content, tannins, and flavors. For table grapes, prefer the sugar, acids proportion, and the size. Due to this, growers regularly check the weather and inspect the grapes during the last stage of maturation, from version to color change, to guard against any infections or damage. To determine whether the crop is right for harvest, most farmers utilize portable refractive indices to assess the sugar level of the grapes. The degrees Brix is calculated by these portable devices. Brix, or simply Brix, is a unit of measurement for sugar concentration. 1 gram of sucrose in 100 grams of solution is equivalent to 1 Brix. The Brix technique is used internationally to measure fruit ripeness, potential alcohol output for wine types, and sugar content. Table grape varietals are typically picked between 12 and 20 degrees Brix, whereas wine grape varieties are typically harvested between 12 and 24 degrees Brix. Table grapes with seeds are typically picked at roughly 13 to 14 degrees Brix, while seedless table types are harvested around 16 to 20 degrees Brix. Next comes hand-picking of grapes. Grapes are often hand-harvested. Knives and slash or electric or manual shears are used during hand harvesting. After cutting full bunches, workers move them to the winery, for wine varietals, or designated warehouses by placing them in collection baskets, table grapes varieties. Only manual harvesting is permitted for kinds of table grapes. This is because they would be bruised if they were picked mechanically. So instead, table grapes are chilled before being picked and sent to storage facilities for packing. Then we have mechanically harvested grapes. Only wine types are utilized for this technique. For the grapes to fall to a conveyor belt, sophisticated machinery that passes through the vineyard rows shakes the plants using rubber or other materials. After being gathered, extraneous objects are eliminated via a series of webs before the grapes are brought to a designated dump. After that, they are immediately taken to the winery. This harvesting equipment costs several $100,000. However, many farmers claim that it is extremely challenging to locate and retain many skilled workers when harvesting occurs. Let's see a bit of history. The origins of French winemaking had been practiced in France for centuries before the Roman invasion. Still, the Romans are credited with establishing the wine-producing areas that we are familiar with today. As a result, numerous native grapes of France, including Cabernet Sauvignon, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Sauvignon Blanc, are now well known worldwide. In the Middle Ages, the Roman Catholic Church had a significant role in preserving winemaking customs. France's terroir concept was created when Burgundy monks realized that various soil types, climates, topographies, and winemaking methods combined to produce wines with distinctive flavors. The early basis for France's appellation system was created by these monks' experiments to determine which vineyard locations produced the greatest wine. as winemakers and scientists learned more about vine yard management and fermentation, and output rose to fulfill the demand for French wine abroad. Wine quality in France continued to advance during the ensuing decades. Using modern agricultural techniques for wine production. First is the process of preparing the seedling. These vines will be cared for at the nursery for 7 weeks before being planted in the field. Planting is done manually in areas where grapes are grown on a small scale. In the vast fields, the cultivation of thousands of irons requires using this machine, more commonly known as grape harvesters. After planting grapes, the farmers will proceed to make wines. Grape is a fruit tree that needs to be taken care of very carefully during cultivation. Most grape varieties grown in France take 3 to 4 years to produce the first crop. Pruning off the young shoots of the vine makes harvesting easier, and this also increases the likelihood of fruiting for the next crop. The green grapes have already formed, and the harvest will take place in about 2 months. Everything is ready. A good harvest is about to take place. Hand harvesting will take place in low-density grape growing areas. These modern machines will be used to harvest grapes in large fields. The vines here will be shaken until all of the fruit on the tree falls off. Then, after harvest, hundreds of tons of grapes will be sent to factories to produce grape juice and wine. To produce fine wines, these factories need to use grapes harvested from over 20 years old vines. Even after the independent Slovak Republic was established, automated harvesting started to advance extremely slowly, and grape producers still mistrust it today. This is also one factor that led to close observation of mechanical grape picking during the past 10 years. Research efforts are concentrated on the manual collection and keeping track of losses during automated collection. In our nation, hand grape picking still predominates, and mechanical harvesting only gradually gains ground. When vine growers decide whether it still makes sense to grow vines at all, and decide against investing in expensive equipment because there is a problem with grape sales on the market. This is caused by high procurement costs for technology, as well as the poor state of wine support settings in the Slovak Republic. Agriculture now employs up to 50,000 people, down from almost 200,000 in 1995. SHMU 2017. In the circumstances of the Slovak Republic, the research team from the university, SUA in Nitra, is often the only one who can address the issue of the grape harvesting method and its economic evaluation, respectively. The most common work method used in the grape harvest is partially robotic harvesting. It is mostly carried out by expanding small and medium-sized businesses dispersed throughout numerous territorial entities. However, large corporations mostly employ it to over-harvest grapes and gather them for high-quality premium wines. In the 1990s, wine-growing businesses in the Slovak Republic dealt with the issues brought on by privatization and change, while also having access to a respectable amount of inexpensive labor. As a result, most investments were originally made in processing technologies, vineyard renewal and reorganization, and cultivation technology. Mechanized grape picking and processing have evolved in Slovak viticulture in recent years. Their number has expanded in the past 15 years from the initial 3 grape harvesters to almost 15. On the other hand, some elderly wine growers, particularly those in smaller wineries, have strong biases against the mechanization of harvesting. The quality level of grape harvesting mechanization has grown over the past 10 years. What difficulties do grape farmers face the most? Decreased pesticide supply and climate change will be the 2 main problems in the future. Here are the principal causes for this. First, the target organisms are becoming resistant. More stringent legal limits on their usage. Single site of action synthetics have frequently been used poorly strategically, which has accelerated the development of resistance. However, it is conceivable that the pest will evolve to become tolerant even with proper application. In addition, we are considering the possibility that existing pesticides may lose their efficacy more quickly than new ones could enter the market, since multi-site of action pesticides are more challenging to create. We hope we've given you a few useful fundamentals, but there are more grapes and areas in France than you'll probably have time to read about over lunch. Do you have any enquiries on how the mechanical harvesters are used, or perhaps about the wine harvesting process? Share them in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe for more videos like this.